What really happens if you stop eating sugar for 14 days? Sugar is easily one of the most common food additives in most countries. It can be found in almost every processed food and drink, wherever you go. So this makes it pretty hard to ignore even if you wanted to. Here's an idea of just how much added sugar is consumed in certain parts of the world. The World Health Organization recommends just about 25 grams or 6 tablespoons of sugar per day. However, an average American, for example, is said to consume about 126 grams of sugar daily, and that's about 29 teaspoons. But the problem with added sugars is that they are far from healthy in comparison to natural sugar sources like fruits. Unlike your favorite sugary fruits, added sugars, if eaten in excess, can cause obesity, diabetes, and heart diseases because of the presence of empty calories in them. Therefore, it is advisable to cut down your sugar intake as much as possible. Thankfully, even a 2-week cutback on sugar will make a whole lot of difference to your body and mind. This video looks more into what really happens when you stop eating sugar for 14 days. 1. Reduced obesity. Eating sugar contributes to increased obesity due to the presence of empty calories in them. Your road to losing weight begins when you eliminate sugar from your diet. And after the first 14 days, you should start seeing signs. What most people also don't know is that beyond the calories, sugar imparts weight gain in other more complex ways. Increased sugar consumption affects the weight-maintaining hormones in the body. Additionally, your brain is more likely to get addicted to sugar without you necessarily noticing it. This only means you will continue to keep gaining weight if you don't control your sugar intake. 2. Clearer and healthier skin. Skin conditions such as acne, rashes, and pimples are associated with high sugar intake. These conditions can be very frustrating to manage given the variety of medications available for their treatment. But once you cut back on your sugar for at least 14 days, there's a good chance you will begin to see a difference in your skin color and texture. Your skin will avoid wrinkles, thereby making you look much younger than you actually are. However, in addition to a sugar-free diet, remember to drink lots and lots of water. This combination works magic for your health. 3. Healthier gut. If you stop eating sugar for 14 days, your stomach is going to thank you for it. This is because sugary foods are known to contribute to bloating and discomfort during digestion. They are also a trigger for acid reflux, a condition that occurs when stomach acid rises all the way up to your throat, causing painful inflammation in the chest and stomach in the process. The implications of prolonged acid reflux also include more severe conditions such as ulcers and cancers. Additionally, an unhealthy stomach often leads to poor health across the body in general, and this is definitely something you don't want. 4. Improved heart function. The heart is an essential component of the body, and like any other organ, taking in foods that the body does not need in excess can stop it from functioning properly. Sugary foods like beverages and other processed drinks are a few examples of foods that have negative effects on the heart. Eating too much of these unnatural sugars raises your cholesterol levels, thereby resulting in clogging the arteries that provide oxygen to your heart. Too much sugar will also raise your blood pressure, leaving you at risk of stroke and heart disease. If you stop the intake of sugar for a starting period of 14 days, you are most likely going to have a better heart function, even if you don't notice it. Most importantly, you will also be preventing the risk of dangerous heart-related complications in the future. 5. Better mental health. Natural sugars like fruits and whole foods give you the energy your body needs. The energy boosts your productivity by keeping you mentally sharp. On the contrary, added sugars like fructose are linked with memory loss and other cognitive problems. These conditions may also lead to bigger problems such as dementia in the future. Try staying away from processed or added sugars for 14 days, and you will instantly notice a positive change in your mental sharpness. This will also ultimately reduce a lot of stress-related depression and its associated effects. 6. Improved dental health. Taking in added sugars in excess amounts increases the risk of cavities and tooth decay, and if you have experienced any of that before, you know it can be quite painful. In fact, in most cases, not even an excellent dental care routine may be enough to prevent the risk of tooth-related problems if you continue to take in a lot of sugar. There is also the issue of bad breath due to the fact that sugar tends to cause the bacteria in your mouth responsible for unpleasant breath. You can help prevent all this by avoiding sugar completely for 14 days. Do this in addition to regular brushing and flossing, and you will definitely see your oral health become much more better than it was. 7. Better sleep. Do you often experience night sweats? Well, chances are that it may be related to your sugar intake. Higher sugar consumption also affects the smooth functioning of your hormones, especially the hormones that enable you to sleep peacefully. Additionally, stress-related issues associated with sugar are most likely going to prevent your peaceful sleep. You would agree that there is nothing more stressful than being unable to enjoy a good night's sleep after a long day. But the good news is that a 14-day period without sugar is a sure way to improve your sleep. Give it a try. 8. Reduce risk of diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is actually the number one disease that comes to mind when the side effects of added sugar are mentioned. Unfortunately, diabetes is also as deadly as diseases come. It causes an increase in blood sugar levels, which then mean key organs such as the pancreas and liver are at risk. While diabetes is also caused by a host of other factors, you will be reducing your risk level by cutting down your sugar consumption. In fact, completely stopping the intake of sugary foods are often better. If you do this successfully for 14 days, you will most likely be able to curb your sugar addiction, thereby reducing your risk of diabetes. 9. Increased immunity. Too much sugar often leads to inflammation in the body, and the result of this over time is weakened immune system. Now, given the immune system is responsible for protecting your body from diseases and other infections, it is certainly not good news if it is not functioning at its required level. In fact, studies show that your white blood cells are at only about 50% efficiency for a good 5 hours after you have taken a bunch of sugary foods. And so, generally speaking, you are more likely to prevent viral and bacterial infections such as colds, flu, and coughs if you quit taking sugar over a short period of 14 days. 10. Healthier lifestyle. Avoiding added sugar for 14 days also most likely means you are going to go for more natural sugars as a replacement in your diet. Fruits and whole foods contain natural sugars that the body needs. They give the body the necessary energy to undertake activities without stress. But most importantly, there's every chance that you may not want to go back to eating sugars once you cross the 14-day mark. This is due to the improvement in health you will generally notice. In this case, your newfound sugar-free lifestyle will go a long way to prevent the direct and indirect problems associated with sugar that exists. Conclusion: added sugars such as fructose and glucose are found in food drinks, ice cream, tea, pastries, and other foods we consume every day. However, remember that much of these foods has bad health consequences for your bodies. This is why it is advisable to completely cut out sugar altogether if possible. Going 14 days without sugar is a great start because you will notice that your body and mind will generally perform better and stay disease-free even in this short period. Hi, thanks for watching to the end. I hope this video has been informative and helpful. If you like this video and you would like to see more contents like this, kindly like, share, leave a comment in the comment section, and also please subscribe to this channel if you have not already subscribed yet. Thanks for watching to the end. Have a nice day and look out for the next video.